we will start. So yesterday I went and had a Valentine's Day lunch with my wife. I coach basketball, so we have practice at night. We're not really much a Valentine's Day couple anyway, so like the whole dinner and getting dressed up, like that's never really been our thing. And so she goes, let's go get some lunch. I'm like, great. So we go up the road, we get a lunch. We're leaving, and I turn the car on. And, I have it on 1080 all the time, and Danny and Dusty are on. It's like 12:42 or whatever. And I'm listening to Dusty, and I'm like, I catch his tone, and I'm like, why does he sound like that? So I turn the volume up. And then he tells me, mass shooting at Chiefs Super Bowl parade. And I'm just like, oh. Fantastic. Another mass shooting. Great. Get to talk about that. Can't wait. Like one of the happiest moments you can have as a fan, and it gets ruined by senseless idiots. And it cost a life, and it's left several children with gunshot wounds. And, like instead of the Super Bowl parade, and we have Kelsey audio from it before everything went down, the Chiefs were done. It was basically over at this point. When it happened. I don't know what videos everybody has seen. I've seen probably 3 or 4 videos. I watched people take down the people and, responsible. And that was nice that they stopped it and they got the people responsible for it. And I saw another video from super far out across the street, and everybody looks like little ants, and you can hear it, and then it just happens. You see everybody scatter, and, it's really sad stuff, Will, that we have to just continue to live through and be normalized to, and can't have any adult conversations about anything because everybody gets offended and butthurt. And I don't know, man. It was pretty eye-opening for me because my kids were both in elementary school a year ago. I have one now in middle school. It's pretty eye-opening when the Uvalde thing happens in Texas and one of your kids is getting panic attacks because they don't do earthquake drills like I did. They don't do 2 fire drills a year where, hey, line up. All right, now we walk out to the blacktop.
Right.
They get to do active shooter drills. Hey, if somebody comes in here with a gun that we refuse to care about at all, you guys need to do this, and we're going to lock our doors, and we need to be quiet. That's the thing about mass shootings that nobody wants to talk about when they yell at each other. It's, you're counting bodies. I'm counting trauma. So it's not just the victims of the shooting. It's the people connected to the people of the shooting. It's the people who survived the shooting. And it's the people who have to go through drills and procedures around the idea of a shooting. And yet that's the area nobody wants to talk. Well, it was only 2. They stopped the shooter. First of all, 2's too many. So thank you for your idiotic point. Second of all, how does that impact the next 10 people around them? How does it impact their family and their friends and their family and their friends? And that's the thing nobody wants to talk about, Will, is it ain't just body count, which is ridiculous in itself, that's somehow some pro argument. It's not addressing and not being adults. That's what this country's become. We are all children. Nobody wants to be an adult and stand up and do the obvious thing. And it turns into something like this happens. And what happens? Everybody gets on TV. They say the same thing. And then 2 days later, we go back to the regular. It's a cycle that continues to repeat itself. I keep seeing these blogs. Marcus Spears with a great point on NFL Live. Marcus Spears had a great point. Marcus Spears, write it down. You'll probably have to give it another 6 months, another 4 months, another 2 weeks, whatever it's going to be, because it continues to happen.
Right. And I had an eye-opening experience one time when I was subbing. So at one of the schools that I sub at, you're in a portable. And I hate that they have you lock the door at the end, or at the start and the end of every class. So you're supposed to lock the door and then unlock it at the end, and then you stand by the door so all the kids can come in, and then you lock it back up right away. And I hate that because I just want to sit at my desk, or maybe I want to go get a drink, or I want to go move around and I want to do stuff.
Well, you and I grew up where the door was open. The hallway is just the hallway.
There were no fences. There was nothing like that. And then I had a kid come into class and they were like, why isn't the door locked? And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm here. Like, you're good. I'm in the classroom. I'm not worried about you breaking into anything. My eyes, I can see you. I have video cameras. We'll be okay. And they said, well, no, it's supposed to be locked because what if a bad guy tries to get in here right now? And it was in that moment when I realized this isn't supposed to be locked because it's a stupid rule. This isn't supposed to be a locked door because they don't want kids to come in and steal stuff or take stuff. It's because they don't want someone to break in and want to harm other students. And that kind of blew my mind for a little bit, because I don't think that if you don't have a child or you're not working in a school or have family members that work in a school, you're not going to think about how it affects different school districts. To my knowledge, the 2 school districts that I work at, there's never been an active shooter. Yet, when you talk to those students, it's one of the first things on their mind. They don't think about the earthquake drill. They don't think about the fire drill. They don't think about a tornado drill, which has had to happen. It happened to me when I was in school. Mm-hmm. They think about the active shooter drill and how to get out of the classroom and how to get out of the school and how to get to safety. I remember when guys still brought their shotguns to school to go hunt after. Like, that was a part. I remember when that rule changed. Sandy Hook happened when I was in high school. So I remember when guys got upset of, what do you mean I can't bring my hunting gun to school? I have to go out and hunt right after class ends.
See, to me, even before Sandy Hook, right, that's a wild thing that was allowed to happen at your school. Like, to me, you can be responsible guy all you want. Like, the fact that anybody, student, adult, whatever, that's allowed, that's mind-blowing to me.
I remember thinking it was stupid that my buddy couldn't have shotgun shells in his car. He didn't have the gun. He had shotgun shells because he had gone hunting that weekend, forgot about them. They were in his car. The security guard walked by, saw them, and he got called in. And I remember, because I was a dumb 14, 15-year-old, and being like, who cares? Nothing can happen if you just have the bullets. That's not even going to scare anybody. And now, obviously, as I've moved on and I've become at least a little bit smarter, I can't believe that was even allowed in the first place.
It is remarkable how the people chosen to lead are the most spineless people who are just bought and paid for puppets. I was 25 when I had my first kid. I was, a lot of people that's normal for them that age. I've said it before. I was immature. I was not fully aware of a lot of adult things. And I realized it in the moment, right? You continue to grow. But I was 25 when I had my first kid. And she's 1. So I'm 26. I just turned 26. I think Sandy Hook was, I think it was like December 6th or 7th or something. So I had just turned 26. And I'm at my mother-in-law's house that day. And I was playing with my kid, and the news pops up, and I'm seeing this happen, and I'm like floored. I had no idea how to process what was going on, the information. It was like overwhelming. And then I watched these people get on TV and be like, no, it's not the time to talk about anything. And then a month goes by, and there's still no talk. And then 8 months go by, and still no talk. And now it's 2024, and here we are. And so, it's I heard Dusty say that yesterday. And the tone he had was right. I just, there's really nothing to say at this point. It's pretty fairly obvious, but we can sometimes show how incredibly dumb we are too. And so it's unfortunate that somebody lost their life, and it's really unfortunate that all these kids had to go through that experience, and that all these people around that moment had to experience it too. And a day that should have been fun, celebrating one of the greatest football players of all time, it ends that way. And welcome to America in 2024.